Investigations in the dark. The reason behind that is it's easier to observe any anomaly that may occur, light anomaly for instance, and it allows you to record instead of recording in the spectrum of light that the human eye can see, you can record in infrared and look into a whole different spectrum that normally you can't see. So this hooks up to like a hand camera. A Sony Handycam is the one we use, and that will allow you to record the environment in total darkness, so you can see what's going on around you, even though your eyes
zero
can't.
lux.
It's zero lux, yeah.
Right.
Low lux is probably more accurate because there is always a little bit of light, you know, bleeding from outside or the moon, but it's very, very low lux conditions. This will allow your handheld camera to record in. More advanced use for that. The good thing about this is you can hook it to a portable camera and carry it with you.
This would be dragging around the wires.
Yes. This is a very important device as well. Any serious paranormal investigator needs these. These are infrared night vision security cameras.
How many LEDs are there's 50-some? Right?
This particular model has 84 LEDs. Our others have 30. This device is great for outside. It's great inside too, but the extra LEDs really let it shoot the beam of light very far into the darkness.
I mean, I wish we had these when we did the Strawberry Chapel.
Right.
Right.
So we get a scene to the back of the cemetery.
You definitely would have seen that entire field all the way back.
Right.
Whereas with the small ones, you might have saw, what, half the field?
Right. What he's talking about is we did an investigation somewhere, and we were only allowed to investigate the perimeter, but I had the camera set up to aim into the background, and it was very dark back there, and my cameras just wouldn't penetrate that far. These will. We refer to these lovingly as the big boys.
The big boy.
And the smaller versions that we have of these, we have 3 of these, and we have 4 of the what we call little man. They are the smaller, wider angle cameras that are good for using in bedrooms. This unit plugs into a power source and also into a DVI cable, which plugs into
right here?
Yes, which is what this is. And this then is ran. This is a 200-foot cable here. This can be ran anywhere that you want to place this camera, and then ran back to a central location. All 7 cameras can be, to a DVR unit, which will record everything that they see. And also we have a 23-inch LCD monitor, which we can monitor in real time what these cameras are looking at.
Yeah. We prefer the wired version.
Yes.
Because they do make wireless versions of cameras.
You don't want to use them.
But there's so much interference sometimes.
Yeah, and you'll always hear investigators say, "Oh, well, look, at the camera's getting interference. It must be paranormal." When, you know, anything can cause that. You know, lots of things can cause interference. You eliminate that with these cables. These are shielded cables, so if you're getting camera interference, again, that doesn't lock it in as paranormal, but it does raise your eyebrow because you have a shielded cable.
It gives you a lot more credibility and say, hey, we were using shielded cables, so there was a chance, yes, a chance of it being interference, but very slim.
Right. Next device, which is very important that we use, is our wireless audio. This is basically, you can set this up any location you want to monitor the audio in real time. This is the receiver for it. I wire this to a cable instead of using the wireless signal because, again, you have the same kind of problem. But with it, you know, you can tell when you got a location that you got a smooth bass line and no interference from the mic. If so, you'll pick up lots of jaggies in the audio. So it's just best to plug it directly in. But we hook this up, and then this hooks to a laptop and runs through a piece of software where, just like with we do the EVP, we can look at a spectrogram of what's happening in real time. So oftentimes we'll be on an investigation. I know a recent private residence, we had to set up in a bedroom, and we could hear voices back there where the investigators were talking, and it wasn't the investigators.
You might want to keep saying spectrogram. To the people that don't know what one is, have you seen an EKG machine? The little peaks?
Right.
It's basically what a spectrogram is.
Yeah, it just allows you to, it's a representation, a calibrated representation of the audio signal that you can visualize. So when I speak, it will spike. If it's quiet, it'll be steady. So that way, any squiggles you see in that line are voices. And you'll see, like my voice in particular, I project a lot, is very, very big wave. Bridget talks a little quieter, but it's still, the wave of her voice is still 5 times larger than an EVP.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And hand me that there. Okay. And this is a wireless weather station. This is very important, often overlooked by paranormal investigators because it's a little more tedious and not as exciting. But basically, this can up to 3 different, or it monitors the location that your receiving unit is, and up to 3 other remote locations. So we can place this throughout the area we're investigating. and it will feed back the temperature, and off some models will even feed back the barometric pressure. Humidity.
Right.
So that if this is sitting up in a child's bedroom that is constant all night long, been 73 degrees, and all of a sudden it drops to 64 degrees for one reading, and then the next reading it's back up to 73, it's, unless the air conditioning unit kicked on and this was sitting right beside it, or there's a major draft from outside, that can be indicative of a paranormal occurrence.
That's what I was going to say. Most importantly, we're going to set up the unit where there is no natural, draft or natural air conditioning unit underneath.
And the reason that temperature is really important is that it goes back to drawing the energy. A lot of people in the field believe that they draw the energy, and by drawing this energy, it's creating a cold spot.
Cold
And that's what
exactly.
you're looking for, a difference in temperature
So
that cannot be explained.
when you ask something to touch you, for instance, and
It's happened before
several
you.
times I've experienced this. I ask something to touch me, and varying levels of cold. Most of the time it's kind of, I think it's a little cooler here.
Right.
On some instances it definitely was very icy cold. Massive change in the temperature, in the ambient temperature in the room. But a lot of people would say, oh, it's because it's dead. No, it's a transference of energy. There has to be a physical basis for a manifestation. Therefore, one theory is that any heat energy, which, as we know, heat is energy, it can draw that from the environment to manifest itself, and therefore that creates the hole in heat or a cold spot. But with that, is there anything else you guys would like to add?
No, I think we pretty much got these covered, and if everybody did like we did, the field might actually be easier to explain. All right, that's a pat on the back, by the way.
All right, well, we hope this clears some things up for you, and thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.